Guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to try and attempt another UKMT question using the mind map method. Right, so the question is, the diagram shows a triangle with sides n squared plus n, 2n plus 12 and 3n plus 3. What is the sum of all the values of n for which the triangle is isosceles? So, let's draw our mind map. So we have our triangle has sides n squared plus n, 2n plus 12, and 3n plus 3. What is the sum of all the values of n? So there are n which has multiple values, and for which the triangle is isosceles. So isosceles is a key term. So what does isosceles mean? Isosceles means that there are two sides that are the same length. So to find out the sum or one of the values of n, we're going to have to find out which sides are the same length, or the possibilities of which two sides are the same length. So we'll start with the first possibility. So we have n squared plus n would equal 2n plus 12. So rearranging this, we would take 2n to the first side, should be n squared plus n minus 2n equals 12. Simplifying it further, we would get n squared minus n, or we could say 1n would be its coefficient, would equal 12. So, and then we would do n squared minus 1n minus 12, which would equal 0. So now this is our equation. Now we can use the AC method to figure out the value of n, basically. So, we have to find the factors of we do factorization of minus 1n and minus 12. So you want to find factors that add to get minus 1 and multiply to get minus 12. So we can think of minus 12 and 1, but that wouldn't make sense because it wouldn't add to minus 1. We have the numbers 2 and 6, but those wouldn't add to get minus 1. And then we have 4 and 3. So a possibility would be that minus 4 times 3 is minus 12, and minus 4 plus 3 is minus 1. So those would be its factors. So we can just ob that out. And now we can rewrite this equation using those factors. So we can say n squared minus 4n plus 3n minus 12 equals 0. Now we can factorize this equation further by adding brackets to this equation. So we can do bracket n squared minus 4n plus bracket 3n minus 12, which equals 0. And then we can see the common factor in the first bracket is n, so you would take n out of the bracket, and then we have n minus 4 here, plus, and then we have the common factor in the second bracket would be 3, so we take 3 out of the brackets, and then we have n minus 4, which equals 0. So now we can, because n minus 4 is a common factor here, we can take that out in its own bracket, and then we can add its Oh, and we don't add it, we just multiply it by its multipliers, which would be 3 plus n, or n plus 3, which equals 0. So now, for this equation to equal 0, one of the brackets have to equal 0, because anything times 0 is 0. So we can test each bracket out. So if we do n minus 4 equals 0, rearranging it, we would say n equals 4. And if we do n plus 3 equals 0, n would equal minus 3. So we would choose n equals 4 because we know that a side can't be minus x centimetres. So in one possibility, therefore, n could equal 4. That's our one possibility. Now we're going to use our second possibility, which would be 2n plus 12 equals 3n plus 3. So 2n plus 12 equals 3n plus 3. Rearranging it, we can... This is an easier rearrangement because there are like terms on both sides. So we can put 3n onto the other side, so we can say 12 equals n plus 3. So then, and then n would equal 12 minus 3, which equals 9. So n would equal 9. So that would be our second possible value of n, which we could add up here. And then lastly, we can use our third combination, which would be n squared plus n equals 3n plus 3. Okay, so to do this one, we would take 3n onto the first side, so n squared plus n minus 3n equals 3. And then simplifying that to get n squared minus 2n equals 3, and then n squared minus 2n minus 3 equaling 0. So that's what we can use for our AC method. And we do the same thing we did to our first one, where we find the factors of minus 2n and minus 3. So the factors that add to get minus 2 and multiply to get minus 3. So the factors of minus 3, you have just minus 3 and 1. Minus 3 and 1. So minus 3 times 1, and then both of them add as well to get minus 2. Okay, so rearranging that, substituting those values into the equation, you would get n squared minus 3n plus, well, we can say n minus 3 equals 0. Now we add our brackets around n squared and minus 3n and n minus 3. We can find that the common factor in n squared minus 3n is n, so we take n out of the brackets and we have n minus 3. And then here, the common, so if we add 1 as n's coefficient, then we can take 1 out of the brackets to get 1 bracket n minus 3, which equals 0. And so we can see n minus 3 is a common factor, so we can take n minus 3 out in its own bracket, plus their multiplier is 1 plus n. Oh, sorry, not plus, multiply it to get 1 plus n, which equals 0. So for both, once again, for the equation to equal 0, one of the factors have to equal 0, because anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So we can try each one out. So n minus 3 equals 0, n would equal 3, so that's fine. But n plus 1 equals 0, n would equal minus 1, which can't be possible because a side can't be minus x centimetres, so it has to be n equals 3. So finally, n equals 4, so the first possible value 4, the second possible value 9, and then its third possible value 3, and then we just add those together to get 4 plus 9 plus 3, which we get 16, and the answer therefore be E. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Please make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and comment down below any more UKMT questions you want us to solve. Thank you.